From my genealogy obsession. I'm here at the Southern California Genealogical Society Jamboree, and they have it every year here in Burbank, at the Burbank Marriott, right across the street from the Burbank Airport. And I'm here with, I'm going to be bringing my daughter in a few minutes, but what I'm doing is giving updates of the sessions that I attended today. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comments area, and we will go ahead and try to answer them as best as we can. Also, if there are any issues regarding hearing me, let me know, and I'll try to adjust the mic or try to adjust the settings. Hi, Cassie. So let me go ahead and get started with my first session that I have today. My first session was actually a DNA session, and it was taught by Jim Brewster. It was titled "Getting Your Results is Just the Beginning." Now, this particular session is one that I really, really needed. Like I said in my previous live feeds, I am a beginner at DNA for genealogy. I've been doing genealogy for about 20 years or so. This is the first time I've actually taken sessions specifically for DNA. This one I needed because not only did it tell me the beginner stuff that I needed to know regarding the DNA, but it gave me more information, such as it talked about the different types of tests. There's an autosomal, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but autosomal results. And Mr. Brewster said that those results are good. It'll help your DNA for 5 generations. It'll go back 5 generations. There's a Y-DNA test, and those results are good for the past 25 generations. And then you have the mitochondrial DNA results. And this type of test is actually done mainly for women. And those results are good for 52 generations. So that if you do that test and you look at the results, you can go back 52 generations to find your relatives. So this particular session I found very, very useful. He also talked about the different companies that do the DNA testing. He just did a couple of them. He went into some general details on each of the different companies. But the one thing that he stressed was that when it comes to DNA testing, to have patience. It takes time because you have to be able to make out your DNA testing plan, figure out who you're going to test, when you're going to test them, and then it's not cheap either. It's very costly for the different types of tests you want to do. So you're going to have patience when you're doing these tests and researching your family history regarding DNA. So now I want to bring in my daughter, Elena. We're going to be talking together because we attended one of the sessions together. So let me bring her in. Say hi, Elena.
Hi, everybody. We actually kind of attended accidentally because we've been managing our schedules together, but we missed this, and I was there, and I was like, wait a minute, and we just happened to be together.
Yeah. So this particular session was titled "Be Your Own Digital Archivist, Preserve Your Research," and it was given by Cindy Engel. Love this lady. She is a great presenter, and she always has great, awesome information for us, right?
Yeah, she gave us so many good tips on how to make sure that we keep our stuff safe.
Yes, she did. She said that we are the ones that are responsible for our research. Yes, our computers may die on us. The backup servers for the companies we have our trees on may go out. And anybody who knows, that happens. Yeah.
Basically, nothing is certain, so you have to have backup upon backup upon backup.
Exactly. So we have to take control over our own research and make sure that we have everything backed up properly. What would you say would be the best information you got from this particular session, Elena?
Well, I think that she was talking about how like Ancestry and Family Tree and all those sites, they don't always have the best backup history. And so if you keep everything on there and something happens and it crashes or something goes wrong, you could lose everything.
Yeah, which is
big.
Yeah, it's
I
big.
had no idea.
Yes, it's really good to make sure you have your stuff backed up other than what you have on the online tree services. For example, I had recently bought, well, not recently, but within the last like 8 months or so, almost a year, I bought a new computer, a new desktop. And so I had all my genealogy on my legacy database program on the desktop, plus I had my ancestry tree on Ancestry. Now, nothing happened to Ancestry, but what happened with my computer is my hard drive died within, like, I think it wasn't even a year, it was about 8 months, and my computer died. I had to pack up the hard drive, ship it out to the company. They looked at it, they fixed it, they replaced what they needed to replace, and then they shipped it back. It took about a month for me to get it back.
But everything was pretty much wiped, wasn't it?
Yeah, everything was wiped from my computer. I could not, I had everything backed up, thankfully. I had, but what I did was, regarding my tree, I went on to Ancestry.com, downloaded my tree as a JEDCOM file, and then when I reinstalled Legacy on my computer, once I got it back, I uploaded it, and wham bam, thank you ma'am, there it is on my computer.
And that's another thing I didn't know a whole lot about is JEDCOMs, because I've been working mostly online and in paper. I didn't know that was even a thing you could have. So now you can have it all over in every place.
Yeah. So one of the other things that she talked about is when it comes to your backups that you have, each item you use as a backup has a certain lifespan. For example, she talked about your flash drive. The flash drive, the lifespan of a flash drive depends on the number of times it's been written over.
The amount of times you use it in the computer and add more stuff to it really can drain it.
Yes, it really, really can. Now, if you have a flash drive where you put your copy of your database on it, and then you set it aside, maybe put it in the bank, the safe deposit box at a bank, and you don't see it for like 10 years, that is actually good. So when you get it back and use it, it'll be in working condition because it's only been written once. It hasn't been written over and over. So it'll have the lifespan for that particular flash drive will be a lot longer than one that you keep updating over and over every time you update your database. So that was one good thing. The other thing is she said we should have external backup hard drives. She suggested, well, she gave 3 companies names that she suggested that were good. One was Western Digital, another one was Seagate, and then another one was SanDisk. And she said that these are all available. If you have a Costco membership, you can get them at Costco. Now, real quick, I just want to say hi to Cassie and Randy. We see you guys in the comments. Thank you for commenting. We love you guys, and it's actually fun for us too, Randy. We're having fun. So now, to continue, let's see. Anything else you want to say on this particular?
I just think that she had so many ideas that I hadn't thought of before, especially the external hard drive, because I work on a laptop mostly, but when I do work on a desktop, that's definitely something you should have.
Yeah, definitely. One other thing she did say was, let's see, what do we have here? Oh wait, you talked about that particular one. Oh, she said actually, one of the things that she did point out was that besides the stuff we're backing up to back up our database and our genealogy information, that we should also archive a master file. And this particular master file should not be touched. It is your master file, so you're not going to want to change it. You're going to set it aside. You'll make a copy of it, and that copy will become your working copy, and that one will be added to. But this particular archived copy is something that you're going to keep. And she suggested, well, not that she suggested, she said that she keeps about the last 5 archival copies of her database. That way, if something happens, whether it's the computer, a power outage, something that she loses, her computer gets wiped, she has these archival backups that she can restore back to her computer. Any last comments on this one, Elena?
I think we pretty much covered it.
I think we did.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you want to talk about one of your classes that you attended?
Sure. So I pretty much, again, this is just a habit of mine. I'm a bit, I don't know, a little bit distracted when it comes to these classes and things. Because I went to one other one before I got really excited, like on Friday, and I went to one called Blogging Your Family History by Jill Morelli. And this one was pretty good, a little bit basic though, because it was mostly how to set up a blog, like on WordPress, like the steps you need to take to set up and design how you want to look and stuff. But she came up with some really good ideas about what to blog as well, which is what I've been struggling with a lot. And she had a lot of ideas about, like, you don't necessarily have to write anything. It's one of the things my mom does on her blog, is Wordless Wednesdays, where you just put a picture up and it speaks for itself, and that's the whole post. And I have never really thought of that except for when you do it, because I thought, I don't know. And so just a lot of different things, like you could post a journal entry. So you're not writing yourself, you're taking someone else's, like one of your ancestors' writing, and just sort of transcribing it so everyone else can hear it. And so there were a lot of really good ideas about not only how to set up your blog, but what to blog. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, so the next session that I attended was again by Cindy Engel. Now, Cindy, she is a friend of ours, but I love this lady. She really knows how to give a good presentation, and she is so knowledgeable. She is the person who runs Cindy's List, which is a list of a lot of resources for genealogists. Now, her session was called Coordinating the Cloud: Ancestry, Dropbox, Evernote, Family Search, Google Drive, and more. And you know, in her session, in the beginning, it was a little bit, it was stuff I already knew about. Like she talked about planning your genealogy research, researching, note-taking, digitizing, stuff like that. And that's something that I had already knew about. But she was talking about that when you are saving your information on all these different companies out there, the Ancestry, Dropbox, and Evernote and whatnot, that, you know, these are you need to save the files in a certain, give it a certain naming pattern so that it's easy for you to remember. You also have, when you're saving it, or when you're deciding which company to use, you need to know how should I say this? You need to know how it would be best to use. For example, in her handout that she has here, she states that Dropbox is good. It's good for, the best function for Dropbox is file storage, photo storage, and if you're collaborating with somebody else, because Dropbox allows you to share a file or share a document or a photo, and you can share it with other people, work on it, and collaborate with other people that way. Ancestry, or let me go actually with Amazon Cloud Drive. Amazon Cloud Drive is good for photo storage and file storage. As a Prime, I forget what she called it.
She mentioned it in the first class that we took this morning, that if you're Prime, you get free unlimited photo storage, and I think 2 gigabytes free for other types of files.
For other documents. And you know, so if you know all the different companies you want to work with and know how best to use them, that it helps you in planning, in coordinating all of this stuff, all of the genealogy software and information, and you know where everything is stored at.
Plus, you can have copies of everything. Like in the first class, back it up.
Now, this is at last year's Genealogy Jamboree. Last year's Jamboree. Thomas McKenty had told me well, actually, I think he told a class, a session, but I know he's the one who said it, was that it's you need to follow the 3-2-1 rule. You need to have your genealogy stored in 3 different places, 2 different formats, and then you keep one. So the 3 different places that you store it could be on your computer, in the cloud, and maybe on a
physical and a safe deposit box.
Yeah, like on an external hard drive in a safe deposit box. So what Cindy is taking now with this class, or with this session, is she takes that a little bit further and tells you how, what companies to use and what they're best used for. She gave us, she suggested that we use a style sheet when we're, for the filing system, so we know we know how we're naming it. You know, for example, if you have a death certificate, you don't want to just name it death certificate 1920. You know, you want to put Elena Sanchez death certificate 1920, El Monte, California. You know, how you want to put really good details in it so that when you see the file, you know instantly what it is. You're not going to have to second guess it. You're not going to have to open it and look at it. The file name will tell you. And let me see what else. I think that's all I have for her. Do you want to do one of your next classes?
Oh no, those are the only 2.
Was that only 2? Oh, that's right. You did only 2 classes.
This happens every year.
Okay, let's just take a quick break. I want to say hi, Lisa. Hi,
Thanks
Miha.
for your comments.
Yeah, we're glad you are watching, and we miss you, and I'm happy you're learning a lot, Miha. So let me just continue with actually my last session that I took. Now this session, actually, it's not really something new that I learned, but it was something that expanded my knowledge of something that I already knew. I use legacy family trees for my genealogy database. It's the program I use on my computer. And the session was called Sources and Citation Made Simple, Standard, and Powerful. And the speaker was Jeff Rasmussen. Now he is the CEO and creator and owner of Legacy Family Tree. He created the program that I use. And basically he just went over how to do the citations in the program, because I took it because that's the one thing that I constantly fight over, or not fight over, but have such problems doing on my program. It's because to me, I mean, I know how to do citations. I've done citation when I went to college and got my bachelor's and master's degree. You had to do a bunch of papers. I know how to do the citations, but for genealogy, it's a little bit more stringent to make sure that you get it right. And you know, I know that some people have said in the sessions that citations, as long as you put enough information so you know where you can find it again, and that's good. But for me, for my particular situation, I just want to make sure that I get it right the first time, because I don't want to have to go back and redo it to make sure if I'm want to publish a report or make a book or anything. I don't want to have to redo it.
The type of thing I was talking about in the Friday review, the historical novels, even though you're making some of it up and taking creative license, you still have to cite the sources for the real people.
Exactly. So in this particular session, he talked about how to do the citations on the program. And it was pretty straightforward. He showed us a lot of examples. I can't really show them here because they're part of his slides, and I don't want to infringe on his copyright. Exactly. But he made it really, really simple. And like I said before, I don't know if I said it in this session or in the first 2 live streams, was that sometimes I have to be hit over the head a couple of times before it actually sinks in. This is one of them. This particular session I've actually taken last year at Jamboree and the year before. So I've taken it and I've tried to follow what he says, but to me, in my head, it just wasn't clicking. This year, I think it clicked. So
cross our fingers.
Yes, cross my fingers. I'm going to go home and try it and try to make sure I make all my citations the correct way. I think that is it. I don't have any more sessions for today.
No, but we have to get to our banquet tonight.
Yes. Oh yes, we have a banquet. It is with Kenyatta D. Berry. She is one of the hostesses from the Genealogy Roadshow. She is going to be presenting secrets from PBS's Genealogy Roadshow, and it is a banquet, and we can't wait. I'm so excited.
We're gonna eat and we're gonna learn.
Yeah, it's
Kind of makes us sound like nerds, but that's okay with us.
And thanks, Lisa, for the 3 times the charm. I know sometimes, you know, we just have
I
a
had
hard
to learn
head.
that the hard way.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we'll be doing our last update tomorrow, which will be about 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish. We don't have a time set. We're checking out of the hotel. We have until 4 o'clock to check out of the hotel. So it'll be sometime before we check out in the 3 o'clock hour, but I'm not going to set a date. So just
We'll see you eventually.
yeah, so just keep an eye out about 3 o'clock-ish and see what we do, and we'll hope to see you guys there. So thanks for visiting and watching us. We appreciate it. Love you guys. Bye.